Hello friends, in last video we have learned how to connect Linux EC2 instance through your Windows machine using key pair. But suppose if you forgot, if you lost the private key from your laptop, your laptop got formatted and you don't have the PAM file and PPK file on your laptop, so how you will be able to connect that machine? So that we are going to learn today. So we are going to recover your private key, and then we will try to connect your EC2 instance. So let me show you how you can connect this Linux box. So you need to connect this Linux box using the public key. You need to go on putty and type the username EC2 user @ public IP, and you need to attach the public private key into the putty, and you need to say open. Once you say open, you will be get access without typing the password and username. So suppose you don't have that file, like you don't have PIM file and PPK file. I forgot, I lost all these two file. Then try to access this file. So if you type EC2 @EC2 user, so you don't have that file, so you won't be able to attach that file into putty. Now it is saying that no support authentication method available, server silent, public key. So this is the error that you are getting and you won't be able to access. Now if you try to download key pair, just go into key pair and try to download it. You don't have any option to download this key, right? So how you will be able to access this instance? So uh, this is the challenge. If this is a challenge you will face if you lost your PIM file and a private file from your laptop. So today I will show you how you can recover and how you can connect this EC2 instance, because you have lots of things running on your machine and you cannot delete directly. You need to take backup and you need to have access for this machine. So let's start with the steps. So if you lost the private key for an EBS backed instance, you can regain access to your instance. You must stop the instance, okay, and detach its root volume and attach it to another instance. So you need to create another instance as a data volume, modify the authorized key file, move the volume back to the original instance, and restart the instance, right? This procedure isn't support for instance stored backup backed instance, right? To determine the root device type of your instance, open EC2 console, choose the instance, select the instance, and check the value of root device type in the detail pane. The value is either EBS or instance store. If the root device is an instance store volume, you must have private key in order to connect the instance. So what are the prerequisites for this backup instance? Create a new key pair. You need to create a new key pair, either the Amazon EC2 console or the third-party tool. So we are not going to use any third-party tool. We are only using Amazon EC2 console. If you want to name your key pair exactly the same as the lost private key, you must first delete the existing key pair. So if you want to create a same name, then you need to delete your previous one and then you need to create again, and then you will be getting option to download the PIM file. So to connect the EBS backed instance with a different key pair, open the Amazon EC2 console, choose the instance in the navigation pane, and then select the instance that you would like to connect to. We will refer to this as the original instance, right? From the description tab, save the following information that you will be needed To complete the procedure, write down the instance ID and AMI ID and availability zone of the original instance. So we need to note down before creating backup instance, right? We need to note down instance ID, AMI ID, and availability zone of the instance. So let's go to the console. So here is my instance. I need to note down, just open the notepad. Instance ID is, right? This is my instance ID. Then you need to AMI ID. You need to note down the AMI ID. Where is AMI ID? This is AMI ID. You should copy it and paste it into here. This is AMI ID, and then you need to note down the availability zone. So what is the availability zone for this? US East, right? Easy is US East 1D. And then in the root device field, take note of the device name of the root volume. For example, it will be like Dev SD1 or Dev XVDA. Choose the link and write down the volume ID in the EBS ID volume field. So now you need to go on EBS ID field and note down the EBS ID. Go into the volume. This is my EBS volume which is attached to your EC2 instance, and this EBS volume you will be having the device ID. So this is the volume ID you need to note down. And here is the attached information XVDA, and this is attached to the instance ID, right? That is also you need to mention here. You should note down all these details. Now we have note down all the details. Now choose action, select the instance state and select stop. If stop is disabled, either the instance is already stopped or it is a root device, instance store volume. Warning, when you stop an instance, the data on the instance store volume is erased, right? To keep data from instance store volume, be sure to back it up with the persistent storage. Right, so you lost the key, right? You lost the key from you lost the key to connect this EC2 instance, and now we are going to recover the key pair. So first you need to take the snapshots of the volume, and then only you need to stop this instance, otherwise you will lose all the data. Now the option, now the steps is to stop this instance. Now you need to go on instance, and then you should go instance, and then you need to stop the instance. Now it is saying, are you sure want to stop the instance? Any data on the ephemeral storage of your instance will be lost. So yes, stop it. Now now you have taken the backup. In my case, I'm not taking any backup, but you should take the backup and then only you should stop the instance. Now choose launch instance and then use the launch wizard to launch a temporary instance with the following option. Open the choose AMI page, select the AMI that used to launch the original instance, and create an AMI that you can use from stopped instance. right? Now choose an instance type. So let's go there. Launch instance, right? Now select this instance. Select the free tier as it was previous. Uh, Next for the configuration. Now here you need to make sure that the region would be same and the availability zone should be same. So here we have 1D, so it should be on the same availability zone, right? Same VPC. Advanced detail not required. Now add storage, right? Let's go and refer. So now you need to select the configuration in instance. They say details page. Specify the same availability zone as the instance you would like to connect to. If you are launching an instance in VPC, select the subnet in this availability zone, which we have already selected. On the add tag page, add the tag name as a temporary. So let's do the same. Add tag and give as a temporary. Instance indicate that this is a temporary instance that we are creating for recovery purpose. On review page, choose launch, create new key pair, download it to the safe location on your computer, and then choose the launch instance. Now configure the security group will be the same, review and launch. Now it is asking you to use the same key pair, but for the same key pair, I don't have .pem file, so I'm going to create new key pair, and here I will type as a recovery, downloading the key pair, same location, and then launch instance. Now go on Puttigen, load the recovery.pem file, and save the private key. ppk, save. And you will also require this public key because we have saved a private key, but you will also require this public key to save this information into your old instance. Now go on view instances. Let's give the name so that you will not get confused. Linux box, and this is recovery. This is recovery instance. Now go into volumes. So this is the older one because it's time. With the time you can decide which one is the old volume. So this is the Linux box volume, and this is recovery volume, right? Now let's go into that file and check for the next option. So in the navigation pane, choose volume and select the root device volume. For the original instance, you wrote down it volume ID in the previous step. Choose action, detach the volume, right? So we are in the same page, volume, right? Here we are in the same page, and it is saying that select the root device volume in the original instance. So this is the original instance volume, right? And this is the volume instance ID which we have already noted down. Volume for the original instance you wrote down. Choose the action and detach the volume. Now go in action and detach the volume. Yes, detach, right? And then select yes detach. Wait for the state of the volume to become available, right? You might need choose refresh icon. Now go on the AWS console and refresh it. Now state is saying it is available. Now go on action and attach volume, and here you need to select recovery, and you need to define the device name, right? So newer Linux kernel may rename your devices to XVDF where previously it was XVDA. Now it will rename it as XDVF. Right? Through XVDP internally, even when the device name entered here and shown in the detail, executes through X dev SDP. So if you refer the manual, you will see with the volume still detected, select action and attach the volume, select instance ID of the temporary instance, write down the device name specified under device, for example SDF, and then choose attach. Now you need to uh, note down the device ID. This you need to note down. This information you need to note down and say attach. Now this both of the volume is got attached to your recovery instance. You should see the state in use. You need to wait. Now after attaching, here is the note: if you launch your original instance from an AWS Marketplace AMI and your volume contains AWS Marketplace code, you must first stop the temporary instance before you attach the volume. Okay. So in our case, we don't have any Marketplace AMI. So the eighth step is saying connect to the temporary instance. Now we are going to connect temporary instance. That is our recovery instance through putty. Now here it is saying state in use and attach information. It is attached to the instance ID C7 and its name is ESDF. And if you select this, it is attached as XVDA, which is root volume, and this volume is attached as a data volume. Now go on instance, select it, copy the public IP, open the putty, EC2 user is the username, type the public IP, go on SSH auth and select the recovery key and then open. Now yes, now it is saying it is wrong key, right? So you got the access, and now if you do lsblk, sorry, lsblk, so here you can see two volume is got attached. First is xvda and second one is xvdf, right? And this is the root volume because it is mounted on root uh, point. This is a mount point for the root volume, and for this we need to mount it. Now go on the manual and check. From the temporary instance, mount the volume that you have attached to the instance so that you can access its file system. For example, if the device name is X div SDF, use the following command to mount the volume as mnt temp vol. So you need to create a temp vol as a directory. So here is the note: the device name may appear differently on your instance. For example, device mounted as SDF may be shown as XDF, which is again showing the same thing on the instance. Some version of Red Hat CentOS may even increment the trailing letter by 4 character. Somewhere you will see K in place of F. So use LSBLK, which is already done. So we are seeing the same information in our instance. In the above example, XDVA and XDVF are the partitioned volume, right? And XVDG, this one is not. So if your volume is partition, your mount point is XDF1. So in our case, it is same XDF1, right? Instance of the raw device in the next step. So now create a temporary directory to mount point. So we are going to create a directory, temp vol. Directory is got created. Now mount the volume at the temporary mount point using the volume name or the device name you identified. The required command depend on your operating system's file. Now, so for CentOS, the command will be the same. And here we are using xvdf1. The same we have xvdf1. So we are going to same command. Now the volume is got mounted inside the temp vol. So if you do lsblk, now you will be able to see this volume is got mounted over here, right? Here it is the note that if you get an error stating that the file system is corrupt, run the following command to use the fsck utility. If you're getting any error, you can run the fsck command for this volume. From the temporary instance, use the following command: update authorized key on the mounted volume with the new public key from the authorized key for the temporary instance, right? So what we are going to do here, we are now copy the authorized key value from the recovery instance to our Linux box volume, right? So the following example use the Amazon Linux username EC2. You may need to substitute different usernames such as Ubuntu for Ubuntu. So with the recovery instance, we are using EC2 users, and we are restoring the public key for EC2 user only into the Linux box. So the command will be cp.ssh authorized key into mnt temp vol home ec2 users.ssh author. So we are going to modify the authorized key for the user ec2 user, right? If you have different user, then you need to select the different username over here. Now select, copy this and paste into the command. Now your authorized key is got pasted into the authorized key file of the Linux box volume. This is copied successfully. You can go the next step. Now optional, otherwise if you don't have permission to edit the file for this volume, you will need to update the file using sudo and then check the permission on the file. Verify that you will be able to log into original instance. Use the following command. Now you need to do these things if you don't have any permission, but in my case we have not received any error. In this example, output should be let's show you. Check the permission. So here we are getting the username as EC2 user and the group is EC2 user for the authorized key inside the temp vol. So in this example, output 02 222 is the user ID and 500 is the group ID. Next sudo rerun the copy command that failed. Run the following command again to determine whether the permission changed. If the ID, same command, if the ID and group have changed, use the following command to restore them. Now you need to run this command to restore them. Now you can see this is the username and this is the group name. We have already set it and it have the read write permission. Now from the temporary instance, unmount the volume that you attach so that you can attach it to original instance. For example, use the following command. Now we are going to mount the temporary volume from the recovery volume, right? It is got detached. Now from EC2 console, select the volume with the volume ID that you wrote down. From the EC2 console, select the volume with the volume ID that you have wrote down. Choose action detach and then select yes detach. Wait for the state of volume to become available. You might need to choose refresh icon. Okay. With the volume still selected, choose action, attach volume, select the instance ID. Right. So first get detach it from the now select the Linux box action. Sorry, go into the volume, select the Linux box volume, go detach volume, is detach. Wait till state comes in available, and after that you need to attach the volume into original instance, that is Linux box, and specify the device name you noted earlier for the original root device attached, that is XVDA as SDA1 or XVDA. Then choose attach, right? Now here you can see it is now available. Now refresh it and then attach the volume to the Linux box. And here you need to define the original name, that is XVDA. Attach. It is got attached, right? We have attached it. Important words saying if you don't specify same device name as the original attachment, you cannot start the original instance. Amazon EC2 expect the root device volume at SDA1 or it is XVD. Otherwise, your original instance will not start. Select the original instance, choose action and instance state, and then press start. Now go on instances, select this instance, action, instance state, and say start. Now your instance is going to be start. What the 15th point is saying, you can terminate the temporary instance if you have no further use for it. Select the temporary instance, choose action and instance state, and you can terminate the instance. So this is how. Now after this is how we are used recovery instance to recover the key pair for the Linux box instance. Now try to connect this box using the temporary key. Go from exit. We have copied the public IP and the username EC2 user @ public IP SSH auth and select the recovery key. If you say open, So here we got the access for your Linux EC2 instance using recovery key from the recovery instance. This is how we recovered our instance. So thank you for watching this video. You can subscribe my channel and share with your friends. Thank you. Bye bye.